reading a script positioned next to your camera can easily be seen and destroys the powerful feeling of connection. Getting a teleprompter fixes this issue. It's also a great way at monitoring yourself without taking your eyes off the camera.
Hey, look at this screen right here, or check out these lights behind me. I'm looking into this screen right here, and that way I can frame things up. I know what I'm looking at, but when I do it with my glasses off, I don't look like I'm looking at you. I look over here. If I want to point at this, I can either look over here, or I have to look here and just sort of guess, but when I have glasses on, it always looks like I'm looking at camera.
Stylistically, obviously, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and you might have issues with light reflections. But with a teleprompter, easy. And now, with lots of boring online classes and meetings, you can use it to watch some YouTube or show, while looking all professional, focused, and engaged. Hi, name's Alex Crane, and I do short and informative videos. I decided to watch over 60 reviews about this teleprompter, and went through all the stages of grief as well as excruciating pain, so you wouldn't have to. And in return, I'm asking for your interactions, as they really do help small channels like mine. Almost a decade ago, I made a DIY teleprompter, as the idea behind them is rather simple, because just until recently, you would be hard-pressed to find one for under $1,000. In fact, the so-called really cheap teleprompter back in the day was $300, and even now you might think that this is kind of expensive, $100 for a piece of glass inside a plastic box. But if you look up the prices of beam splitter glass, it really is a bargain. But do you really need that special expensive glass? Well, I have this CD case and a random piece of glass. Let's find out. Surprisingly, the CD case is actually pretty usable, while the random glass, on the other hand, is a great example of horrible back reflection, while the special beam splitter glass lets you see the text clearer without degrading your image, and makes it way more usable outside. The higher the second number, the brighter the text, but the more light you will lose. And this does check out in real life. You do end up losing a third of a stop. This image is without a teleprompter, and here we put it on. To attach your camera, you will need to screw on a provided adapter, with sizes ranging from 49 to 82 millimeters. This should cover most crop and full frame lenses, while micro for third owners might have to buy a step-up ring. And if your camera or lens doesn't come threaded, you can look into buying a CameTV 52mm lens adapter. Tech Travel Beyond was the only reviewer that mentioned such a solution. Shoutout and links to his video in the description. But there's a good chance that you already own a Magic Arm, and even if you don't, it's still more universal and affordable. More on that later on. I'm not a huge fan of the mounting system. Some of them do go easy, but others pretty tough. We are also provided with a phone mount that can be used both vertical and horizontal. You get a bunch of these foamy discs that you can cut up to fit your phone's camera, so no pesky reflections or lights will bug you. But it's kind of funny how none of the 60 reviewers mention how big of a phone fits here, and it's not mentioned in the product description either. And the answer is 8 centimeters. Just so you know. Will it even surprise you that other reviewers didn't even test the phone tablet holder where you put your device so it prompts the text either? Sure, this one is for tablets, this one is for phones, yada yada. Everyone said that. But if your phone doesn't fit the phone version and you try to put it in the tablet, you'll find out that there is a size gap. I just can't secure it. And it would be fine in a studio environment. But hey, if you accidentally touch the teleprompter, it'll send your phone flying. This awkward centimeter gap does affect current big phones. Thankfully, they released a new T3 version that fixes this issue. A redesign with an all-in-one clamp that can hold an 11-inch tablet and some hot shoes. And to be honest, none of that seems interesting to me. It's pretty heavy as is, giving a lot of strain here and here, especially with a tablet. My T2 is 310 grams. The newer one seems to be a little bit more heavier, half a kilo for a tablet that you'll likely have in some kind of protective case. And I really doubt that you will be using some small light for your studio setup, or one of those tiny microphones that would add extra weight for questionable quality. And having an adequate light is pretty important, at least with the T2, as kindly demonstrated throughout his whole video by
Personally,
I couldn't replicate the issue. Maybe they started using better glass. glass, but it was covered in the hands down best review of this prompter by Malinaville, unfortunately in Russian, and if you live in Ukraine, he actually sells them at a very good price. Link will be in the description. He is pretty much telling us that other teleprompters didn't have this issue, even Desview's own T1. You might argue that the hot shoes can come in handy on the go, but even with the T3, we still don't get a carrying case. I mean, sure, you can take the box that it came in and make a few cuts and store it there, but really, how long will it last? And buying a dedicated protective case like the one I previously reviewed will cost you a pretty penny. You'd probably be better off with a more compact version anyways. But hey, Desview, send me one, as I still have a lot of unanswered questions. And looking how your reviewers can't even stretch out the tablet holder during a wide-angle lens test, or to just flip the camera vertically. I mean, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, ever heard of those? And after watching so many of these reviews, I came up with a new joke. Who's there? Common sense. Oh god, don't do that. Horizontally, at 30mm, you can't see anything on devices up to 10cm wide. Chantal went even wider, but I have no idea what phone holder size he used, and you'll have to zoom in to 45 if you wish to fully retract the holder. And vertically, things look a bit more grim. 48 to 50mm is required for the minimum size of the tablet holder or the maximum of the phone holder, and you can zoom out to 38.4 at the minimum phone holder size. Ideally, you should place the prompter pretty far back. For example, if you're using a 10-inch prompter up to 4 meters out, I recommend mounting the tablet separately, as it'll be much more easier and faster than if you would mount your prompter without having to worry that any light will go in. You could also use a magic arm. The text should be pretty big too, not only so you can read it, but so that your eyes don't go back and forth, yet still keeping enough extra text so you're aware of what's coming. And if you need to emphasize anything, using it also takes practice. It's no magic candy. Be familiar with your script, practice reading it, start out slow and then go faster, and try to use your own words too. After all, it's not the Bible. We get a very bare bones app. You can't even import a file, but it's free and you can just copy paste. Also, a small remote that I lost somewhere, but since it's a generic VR remote gamepad thingy, I just ordered an extra one from Malinaville. Hashtag not sponsored, but I wouldn't use it while filming a video. It's kinda awkward looking and limits your gestures. Also, it's hella loud. Plus, there are voice activated apps that scroll as you read. So no need to manually control the speed or stop. Plus you can go with script and talk whatever you want. It'll pick right up when you start reading it again. But the remote is still handy if you wish to rewind to make another take. Prompter apps is a giant topic all of it itself, and I'll be making separate videos about these. So please subscribe, like and comment, so I don't get discouraged. All in all, the T2 has pretty great build quality, a protective cover for the glass that cannot be replaced, a lot of accessories at a nice price. Buy one with my referral links or donate so I can make more short, informative reviews that don't waste your time. See ya!